Have you ever had a conversation with someone about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie? There's a decent chance you have, and it's a really stupid conversation. The only relation that movie has to the holidays is that it takes place on Christmas Eve. If it were to take place on any other day of the year, it'd still be the same. Kinda like Home Alone. Not as much as Die Hard, but as long as the movie takes place somewhere during winter, it's pretty much the same movie. A prime example of a not Christmas exclusive movie that is still a Christmas movie is Nightmare Before Christmas. If you replaced Christmas with St. Patrick's Day, Jack Skellington's story would be completely different and he would never have had his Black Hawk Down moment. It's an awful day for rain.
Bah!
But what does all this have to do with anything? I kind of started rambling there, but this story takes place around Christmas, but has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas. It was a bit before Christmas, let's say Christmas Eve just for convenience sake. I was at work, miserable, not doing my job, when through this oddly placed little window we had to see to the other side of the store, I spotted them. Spider-Man and a child in a shark costume. The Spider-Man had come to visit my store. He's a little shorter than I thought he would be, but in my mind, I went, being overworked and underpaid retail employee sure has got to me. But by the look of my coworker, she saw him too. And about 2 minutes later, sure enough, before us stood Spider-Man and Shark Boy. And Spider-Man had one question. Do you have any Spider-Man merch? And I spotted a way to get out of work. So like any good worker would, I start to take these two fine gentlemen to the toy aisle. Right before we embark, Spider-Man says, "Come on, Fatman." I write it off and we embark on our life-changing journey. And after that perilous journey, we arrived. We stood before the exact person I was searching for, the department manager. So I asked if we had any Spider-Man merchandise. Much to the dismay of my companions, all she could muster was a single Spider-Man glass. Spider-Man seemed to be dissatisfied by this, judging by the fact that all he said was okay, and him and Shark Boy sprinted off. And my manager did not care in the slightest. So back at the front I stood, when once more, Spider-Man and Shark Boy came up and said, "Your store is kinda ugly." Jeez, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a degree in civil engineering and interior design. Had I known the inspector was coming in, I would have cleaned up a little bit. I didn't say that. I replied, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let my boss know." And he replied, "Yeah, your store kinda sucks." He wasn't wrong, it did suck. After that, Spider-Man and Shark Boy leave, never to return again. My coworker and I were discussing what just happened when out of the corner of my eye, who else do I see but Spider-Man? But not with Shark Boy, with Deadpool. And sure enough, they come right back to me. But something was off. Spider-Man wasn't the original Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man had become Deadpool, and Shark Boy had been promoted to Spider-Man. Deadpool began to speak. "Fatman, do you have any Venom merch?" Now this is when I realized that he was saying Fatman. To me, to Spider-Man, to us both, I have no idea. But using my impeccable social skills, I could see where this was headed. But I could also see that this was yet again a good way to get out of work. So once more we embarked. And once more I asked our manager what the merchandise situation was looking like. Even bleaker than our Spider-Man merch. Nothing. After receiving this awful news, they sprint off into the store. At this point, my boss has had enough and tells them to leave. And the store is back to peace once more. But only for like 3 minutes before Spider-Man and Deadpool stroll it. The original Spider-Man who became Deadpool was back to Spider-Man. And the original Shark Boy who got promoted to Spider-Man had now become Deadpool. This time though, we had missed them coming in. We only knew they were here by the blur of them sprinting around the store. And now my boss really had enough and tells them to leave once more. But this time she calls Spider-Man by his first name. So he replied, "Who's Peter? I'm Spider-Man." So she said, "Peter, does your mom know where you are?" And he replied, "No, she's sledding." And after completely destroying my boss in a battle of the wits, they left. But before they were gone, I looked into the front foyer, and I saw a sight that so few people have ever seen. Spider-Man without his mask on. We made eye contact, and as any rational person would do, he screamed and ran off. And Spider-Man was never seen again. He was gone. He was the hero we needed, but not the hero we deserved. Some say he's still out there, telling people their stores suck ass. Because he's not a hero, he's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, the dark retail store inspector. Thank you for watching, even if you didn't make it this far. Happy holidays, if you celebrate. Happy New Year's. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. That was Phil playing with his toys. There should be more videos on the way soon. Have a good one.